Ibragimov. The referee charge reaction from Ukraine, Alex Luka.
Those are the most soft-spoken instructions we've heard so far. And here we are at this men's junior bantamweight final, so 61.2 kilograms or 135 pounds. And here we are underway. It's Bahrain versus Tajikistan. A nice leg kick there from Tajikistan's Radzhabov to start things off.
Murad's got a great head and arm choke as well. It's exceptionally tight. Very well versed on the ground with submissions. But every fight starts standing, so if you want to take this fight to the ground, you've got to use the combinations and the strikes to disguise that level change. Also, drive your opponent back to the cage. Big overhand right as the crowd respond.
Yeah, and it looks like a kick to the groin there. It's a shame, just as Radzhabov got that solid straight right. Okay, we reset now. Let's see if Radzhabov continues taking the lead here with the striking. It's pretty comfortable so far.
Now, Murad's tasted that power. Is he going to be able to make sure that he eludes that power? He's got a little bit of blood on the side.
Yeah, I noticed that just now. Wow, in that case, I mean, Radzhabov definitely packed some power in those punches. And sometimes that can be both demotivating or motivating even more. Like some fighters like, oh, look at this huge slam there from Tajikistan's Radzhabov.
And the word from, sorry Seb, the word from the campfire here, of our officials at cage side, is that he came into the fight with the cut.
Okay.
So maybe that's, reopened.
Well, luckily, it's not in a spot where it necessarily will leak into his eyes or anything such, but it depends on the scramble, really. I mean, but as I was saying, I mean, some fighters, like take a Forrest Griffin, for example, they don't really get started until they see a little bit of their own blood. Sometimes that can really motivate a fighter, remind them, okay, I'm in a fight, he's got me, I've got to get him back. For other fighters, sometimes it can be a little demoralizing. You start thinking, oh no, he's in the lead, the judges are seeing this.
With the nice shoulder shots.
It's interesting how shoulder shots in the clinch have become such a standard technique now.
Yeah, they're quite good to consolidate the damage up, particularly the nose is quite uncomfortable. More of it's to disguise your attempt to take the person down, though. And on the ground as well, they're quite effective from side control to disguise your progression to go to the mount, So they do consolidate a bit of damage and more of a distraction than anything.
Oh, that's a nice lateral drop, but didn't quite get his hips into... look at this.
Inverted triangle here.
Inverted triangle, yeah.
10 seconds to work. Looks like he's got the clasp.
I like those knees to the body on the ground. I feel that's a pretty underutilized technique. I mean, let's not forget Abel Trujillo won his UFC debut by brutal knees to the body from a grounded position.
Take a look at the replay here. There was that beautiful, crisp, straight right hand down the pipe from Otabek. There was the low blow. Look at this aerial slam.
Ooh.
Single leg up to the sky, giving Murad a taste of his own medicine.
And there's that lateral drop. Just didn't quite get the rotation needed to end up on top. Viewers at home might recognize brave super lightweight champion Eldar Eldarov in the Bahraini corner. Fighter who has trained extensively with Khabib Nurmagomedov, so definitely some good coaching there, I'm sure.
As we get set for round two, who's going to initiate this level change first? But they've got to set it up with the strikes because both are well versed in the wrestling realm.
Some nice inside leg kick there from a southpaw position that Ibragimov fights out of. That was not necessarily a poorly set up takedown, but it was not disguised at all. A shot from pretty far away and easily defended there by Radzhabov. Again, solid defense here from Otabek Radzhabov with Tajikistan.
He's using the forearm against the top of the legs there to prevent the hips coming forward for the takedown, but also the knees in the clinch.
Oh, he's got a double underhooks. And there, once again, the Tajik takes top position.
Murad again was looking for that counter, the sacrifice throw, but the base of the Tajikistan fighter on top was just too great, and he ended up in the top position. That's such a viable skill to have in mixed martial arts as well. When the fights go into the ground and you think you're taken down, but you can switch it around is very beneficial. But two high-level wrestlers here in the cage, and Otabek is reading that perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, Murad Ibragimov had the right idea, but I mean, at the end, Otabek Radzhabov was just all about that base.
Triangle attempt here from Murad. He's going to look to reach up, grab the foot. He can grab the shin. You see there's a little bit of the blue corner's shoulder showing. He needs to cover that. He needs to cut against the neck. So you kick up like a donkey and bite down on the neck like a shark. It enables a better choke.
The old donkey shark offense, I see. Yeah, it's just not tight enough, really. I mean, you want to have it over the ankle, not over the foot. Correct you are, Dean.
And to achieve that as well, he needs an angle. So if he was to dive his right arm underneath the left leg of Otabek, he could circle out almost like he wants to look in the ear of Otabek. You know, he's going to get a better angle to bite the neck. At the moment, he's square with the hips, which makes it a little bit harder to bite the neck, but also enables him to get stacked up a little bit more. So it's a little bit more difficult for him to maneuver.
Now it's a little bit better. Still just not really tight enough. I don't think really that Otabek Radzhabov is in any solid danger here.
No, I mean, you can see that from his ground and pound. There's massive space from his shoulder to his left shoulder to his neck. You know, in this submission, the leg and your opponent's arm will choke you. So you need to constrict. Constrictive submission needs to be really closed in, and you can see Otabek had a lot of space, so much space that he could utilize the ground and pound.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was almost like it was helping Radzhabov a little bit because he had his opponent clap stomped him, and he could posture up and rain down some shots quite successfully. It's perhaps always an interesting situation when sort of a fighter's ideal weapons are taken away from them. It's like, okay, how is your plan B? Because you've always got to have one. I mean, you can perhaps get a small injury. Anything can happen in MMA. Plan A is not enough. Usually you need half of the alphabet, really. I mean, A, B, C, D, a couple others as well. There's just so many facets of MMA.
There's the uppercut being shown by Murad.
Whew, what a leg kick. It's like he's trying to score a field goal.
Great in and out footwork as well from Otabek. He skips that lead leg back very well as well. Very aware that Murad wants to shoot in on that lead leg. You see, when he pulls out of range, he pulls that leg back ever so slightly.
Yeah.
That's what enables that, yeah.
You called it, Mystic Dean.
I wish I could predict the lottery numbers.
Oh, you'd have to share them with me.
Hey, beautiful level change, but into the triangle. And he's got 2 minutes to work now. Can he make the adjustments? And has his corner told him to use the angle now? So he needs to start thinking about diving for the angle.
And again, it's just not tight enough. And that's the thing where, the shin guards, they can be a bit of a hindrance when it comes to the triangle choke in particular. It can be just a little bit harder to get it. And I think we're going to see a repeat of the second round where Radzhabov is just going to posture up and just rain down shots like a very painful hailstorm.
It's a little bit, to be honest, it's a little bit better here. The posture's a little bit more broken. You can see Otabek striking less. But again, you can see the shoulder of the blue corner, the left shoulder, that needs to be covered by Murad's leg. And the way he used to dive his left arm underneath the right leg and turn the angle. Again, trying to look into the ear of his opponent.
And quite a bit of intensity from the Bahraini corner. We got to know that we're down 2-0.
Also, how do you score this as well? You know, because almost certainly Otabek is in danger and he's controlled in this, we call this the diamond guard here, with the not full triangle. It's kind of like a guard over the shoulder. Do you score it that he's on top, or do you score it that actually Murad's offering offense in the submission? He's making this a dangerous situation for Otabek.
I guess we go by how effective it is. I mean, the submission danger isn't really effective. I mean, it's stopping the offense somewhat.
It's like a grey area.
Yeah,
it I think it largely comes down as well to who's around judging. Do they have a Brazilian jiu-jitsu background? Do they fight in MMA? Have they fought? Or do they come from karate? You know, it's a toss-up between the three judges, you know. That's why the old saying, never leave it to the judges. Last 10 seconds of the third round here. And he's trying to make the adjustments late on, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
There we have it. This fight goes with distance. Seems like Murad Ibragimov is confident in victory, but I'm not quite sure about that one. The decision, the victory, and in the end, the gold rests in the hands of the cage side judges. Looks like scores are being collected as we speak. It'll be quite interesting here to see how it gets done and to read out those scores. If it ain't Ricky right, it's simply Ricky wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 rounds of action. We go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 players will be won by unanimous decision. And now the IMF Junior Featherweight World Cup champion. With the blue corner from Tajikistan, Radzhabov.
All right, Tajikistan, stand up. You just got your second gold medal courtesy of Otabek Radzhabov with a very, very strong performance here.
And as we look at the replay here, Murad, now this is such a valuable lesson for him. You can't buy this. You know, you only get this with experience. What happens if your wrestling doesn't work? You have to rely on something else. Boxing, Muay Thai, even jiu-jitsu as well. So now he's going to go back to the drawing board and improve in those areas, which is going to bring him up as a fighter as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, that is why these IMS are just instrumental for the growth of these young fighters. I mean, even in a loss, they are winning so much experience that I'm sure will serve them very well down the road.
Now please welcome firstly into the cage, representing Norway, Christian Hayes.